that there are dark forces.
Is there another agenda at play?
The deep state. They got me. The deep state.
Is there another agenda at play?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome, welcome, guys. Welcome back to the channel. How we doing? We good? It's Friday night. It's 7:30. We are here making sense of the senseless again, as per usual. It's me, it's you, it's the people of the Booge, guys. We've got, who have we got in the live chat? Let's have a quick look. We've got Soul Stealer, we've got Diz, keeping us right, keeping us true, moderating the chat. So she is. Captain Coconut, Billy Kershaw, Blah Blah, Harry Flashman. How are you guys doing? Are we good? Are we surviving and thriving? I'm doing okay. I've got my fruity craft ale IPA here because I work in IT and I'm a big old fat cliche, so whatever. I hope you guys have got a glass full of self-medication on the go, be it a craft ale or a bottle of wine, whatever you're partial to. A daiquiri, a sex on the beach, perhaps a Cosmo. Guys, it's been a hell of a week once more, hasn't it? Do you want to join me for the next hour as we try to make sense of the senselessness once more and indeed light of your darkness? Join me. There's a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. A couple of things that I think we should get into. I suppose the first thing that we should touch on is what the fuck is happening in the British far right, isn't it? We should probably talk about that, as is my USP now, sort of ish. I suppose between the far right watch videos, which if you haven't checked them out, go grab one. I was going to say now, but maybe wait till after the live stream. Okay. But go and check those out. People seem to like them. People seem to enjoy them. I enjoy writing them and putting them together. And then the Reform Party stuff. Those things that I put out about Farage and Reform. Between the two of them, the Far Right Watch and then Farage, who is, odds on going to be the next Prime Minister. Between the two of those things, I feel like a sort of, dispatches from dystopia kind of character these days. Sort of far-right correspondent, if you will. So shall we catch up with our friends from the far right who, may dwell in more conservative quarters, shall we? Do you want to join me for that? Doing that for a little bit? Let's get into it, shall we? So here is a little roundup of the what's happening on the political right, the political far right. Forget the flag shaggers for a bit. I'm just talking about the actual politicians that inspire them, that radicalise them. That's what we're going to get into. So who do I mean by that? Who do I mean by the politicians, the parties who are informing these movements, these idiots? So UKIP, let's start with UKIP. UKIP, oh my God. There you go, super chat, straight out the gate tonight. I should probably turn the sound off on that. It's going to pick it up on the mic, I think. Turn that down a bit. There you go. Thank you, though, Brian White. That's really, really kind of you. £5 super chat from Brian White. There you go. So UKIP, what's their update? What have UKIP been up to? They unveiled their new logo at the tail end of last week. It's almost an exact replica of the Nazi Christian cross thing. It's almost, I wish I had, sort of prepped a picture of the two of them together here to compare it, side by side. Because it's insane how similar they are. Like, I don't really know why they didn't just come out and say it at this point. Why don't they just come out and say, yeah, that's us? You know? Like, I actually think that we've reached a point now where people are sufficiently radicalised in the British political right that they would be okay now. If it's not now, it's coming soon. They would probably be okay with just being called Nazis, I think. And simultaneously, we're at the same point now where they've moved far enough to the right that the rest of us are academic enough and politically aware enough to be like, well, yeah, mass deportations, remigration, Stasi squads demanding your papers and immigration status, people shooting people in the street for protesting. I mean, it's not Nazi, is it? So these two things are both happening concurrently. We're seeing them as Nazis more accurately, more academically, and they are being pushed further and further to the right, to the extent that I think that they'd be all right with the branding. They are okay with the branding. Look at the Nazi cross. Like, how detached would you have to be in January of 2025? How removed from things would you have to be and politically ignorant to look at, like, forget UKIP for a minute, but just, like, look at the Trump administration making lists of high-profile Jews? Did you see that this week? Young Republicans talking about gassing them on the WhatsApp chat group. That was a few weeks back. And then you got this lot over here with Nazi crosses and everybody talking up, rounding up immigrants and remigration. To see all of that happening, how detached do you have to be to go like, yeah, it all seems pretty centrist to me. It seems reasonable. Feels like the reasonable centre ground there. Like, not everyone has to be mad into politics, obviously. Not everyone has to be obsessed with every single poll, every single development in Nigel Farage's life. Not everyone has to be obsessed, drinking in the news like some sort of emotionally unhealthy news junkie. No, not everyone has to be like that, like us. I mean, if you're not, I'm actually mad jealous of you. I truly am. Like, the ignorance must be bliss. But to look at the environment that we're in now and to see Elon doing a Nazi salute and round up the foreigners stuff and the ICE agents detaining mothers at the school gates and now these very familiar German crosses with the UKIP stuff, and then to think like, no, it's not far right. it's not far right, but it's not far wrong either, eh? Like, that's their line, isn't it? That's the one that they come out with. To come out with that stuff, still none of that's far right, eh? I'm sorry, but you are either the world's fucking saddest lobotomy survivor or your mum was ginned out of her mind in the entire way through her pregnancy with you. Like, it's one of those two things. There's no other explanation for it. So UKIP are UKIPing. That's what they're all up to. The UKIP party are rebranding to these German crosses, and they're always on about, I don't know if you've caught any of the rallies, the speeches that their leader, Nick Tenconi, gives when he makes appearances at places. But, woo! He's always on about crusades. They're going on. What is it? He says like the 6th crusade. This is the 6th crusade. And yeah, so I'm sure they must be just fighting the urge to just, fully rebrand and call themselves the Nazi Party. Like, it can't be that far away. We're knocking on the door of that now, of that happening. Elsewhere in UKIP, while we're doing a sort of update of the far-right parties, that inform the radicalisation, of which we normally mock and maul, UKIP got banned from marching through Tower Hamlets today. Did you know that? That's the thing that happened for UKIP. They wanted to march through Tower Hamlets, which is a hugely deprived area of East London. Shit tons of immigrants live and work and well, mostly those two things, live and work there. And UKIP wanted to march through Tower Hamlets, marching in support of mass deportations around all of this very healthy immigrant population. But the police said no. The police said, not on your Nelly, Nick Tenconi. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cut you off. You can't walk through this route. You can still do your little march with your Crusades outfits and your big purple banner or, you know, whatever. Actually, that was the old branding, wasn't it? So it would just be a big German cross now. So you can still do your march, you can still do your protest, still have your megaphone, you can still shout stuff at Narinda, whatever the fuck it is that you're planning on doing, but you can't walk through Tower Hamlets, was what they said. And really it's a lose-lose for the Metropolitan Police in a situation like this, because on the one hand, they can't allow UKIP to march through there because the unrest it might spark, you know, like what if a riot broke out and one of the local young black men got killed or something. And then on the other hand, if they did let it happen and a young black man got killed, they wouldn't get to be the people that were shooting the young black men themselves, and they'd really like to be doing that. They would miss out on that, so it's lose-lose, guys. So that's UKIP. That is your UKIP update. What about the others? What about the other far-right parties, guys, that inform the radicalisation, that represent the radicalised? What else is going on with them? We have Rupert Lowe. We should probably talk about Rupert Lowe. He used to be in the Reform Party with Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, Lee Anderson, until he challenged Führer Farage and was swiftly suspended from the party after accusations of bullying him. Now he's gone solo, and he has his Restore Britain movement, is what he has, which I told you about, I think, earlier today. I said it on the Farage, the Reform video. But also earlier in the week, I think it came up. And he was told by a polling company earlier this week that if it converted into a full-blown political party, because he's currently independent, right, having been ostracised from Reform, if he turned it into an actual official political party, because he has the backing of people like Elon and Tommy, it is now estimated he could get about 9% of the vote, apparently, even though basically nobody knows who the fuck Rupert Lowe is. If you went out on the street and you said, do you know who this Rupert Lowe guy is? Maybe a few people might know, but not many, I don't think. It's only the news junkies. It's only the people who live and shit and piss and breathe this stuff that know who Rupert Lowe is, I think. And so now, emboldened with that knowledge, he's going harder into the campaigning, isn't he? By putting out press releases this week. I don't know if you saw them, where he says there is obviously 90 or 100 million people living in Britain. That's what he says. Somewhere between 90 and 100 million people is the actual number of people living in Britain, the population of the UK. And I don't know how au fait you are with statistics, population, all of that, but that is about 35 million more people than official estimates, than the census, than the government estimates, than basically anyone is saying. 35 million more, right? And the reason that he says this is because he's seen a government report, some sort of, select committee report, that says that there's 91 million mobile phone subscriptions. Yeah, see, he's a clever guy. He's Detective Rupert here, cracking the case. And obviously he really wants you to believe that there are too many people. Because if there's too many of us, that gives him grounds, doesn't it, to start forced remigration. There's too many people. We can't handle it. It's unsustainable, etc. But here is the thing. 90 million SIM or phone subscriptions is indeed the government estimate. I looked into this earlier, and it's been fed to the government, to their research, by Ofcom, as you might expect. No great shocker there. 75% of that, though, is live consumer contract mobile phones, so that's probably about right. So if he says 100 million, 75% of it, that's, some 70, 75 million, I guess. It's not every pensioner has a mobile, and there's about 10 to 15 million kids. That sort of brings it down to almost like 1.5 per person. Then you have pay-as-you-go on top of that. That's another chunk. But still, you're sort of oscillating around the official population figures, which are somewhere between 65 and 72 million people. But then you have other products. Then you have cars. My car has a sort of 3G connection for the map or something. And then you have child trackers. I don't know if you're familiar with those of you who are parents, but you can get these little sort of pendant things that you can put in your child's rucksack or in their pocket, and you always know where they are. They have to be connected. Lots of people have a console in their car, as I've mentioned. Then there's machines, like vending machines. Sometimes we'll have a SIM card. Vending machines talk to other vending machines to work out where the stock is, etc., etc. And so between all of that, that's another couple of million, maybe another 5 million. I don't know. And then there's tablets, and then there's old pay-as-you-go SIMs that are still technically live but never get topped up. And we need to remember that all the phones, that the Tories accidentally lost and destroyed when they were asked to give evidence to the COVID inquiry. So that's another batch right there. It's not particularly shocking that Ofcom have said 90 million, is it, when you factor in all these other subsets of SIM cards? I saw this story the other day where I was like, I read about Rupert Lowe's statement. He's about 90 to 100 million or whatever. I was like, I don't know why anyone's taking the far right seriously when they're talking about the number of mobile phones that they have, especially Rupert Lowe. Rupert Lowe himself, I had a look at this earlier. He said on Facebook that his own family mock him. This is a few months ago. He said his own family mock him for being such a dinosaur that he still has 2 phones. Because you shouldn't need 2 phones. You could get a SIM card and put it in your smartphone and have 2 fucking numbers. I don't even think you need a SIM card to have 2 numbers anymore. I think you could just have it in one handset. You just say, yeah, I want another number on this phone. So he says that his family mock him for having more than 1 phone, which is presumably a personal and a work one, like a lot of people do. So even he has 2 phones, 2 SIMs, and a tablet that probably has one too, and probably a pay-as-you-go SIM knocking around the place, and maybe one in his car. Fucking idiot. So that's UKIP and Restore Britain, Rupert Lowe's movement, at least for now. Ben Habib is the other one, isn't it? Ben Habib is another sort of right-wing political leader here in Blighty. Cheers, once again. Ben Habib has Advance Britain. That's his one. They are a political party, not just a movement. Ben Habib's Advance Britain. And what are they doing at the moment? They are trying to make hay out of Reform UK's decision to make Layla Cunningham their mayoral candidate. They're really going to town on Layla. So they are. Now, we talked about this a little bit a week or two ago when it first blew up, when they announced that she was going to be the candidate. About how, you know, like GB News were having what was it, like Dan Wootton and a few of the others, they really do not like that Layla Cunningham is Reform's candidate to be the mayor of London because Layla Cunningham is Muslim, which I don't really care about that. Doesn't bother me in the slightest, but people like Dan Wootton and Tommy Robinson do. Well, since that all came out just 2 weeks ago, they went and dug out her old photos, because that's what you do, isn't it? When there's a female political figure, you just got to go trawling through their old social media. Of course you do. Dig out their old family photos. Anytime they looked a little bit pissed, or God forbid wore a rainbow badge, shame her. We're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned witch burning. So they've gone out into her old photos and profiles. And now all of the knuckle draggers are excreting rage from all orifices. So they are, because it turns out that she used to have pronouns in her bio. Oh, my Lord. Oh, mercy. And she went to Pride. She went to Pride as well, apparently. And obviously showing solidarity with the gays and, you know, wearing a rainbow pendant or whatever and having pronouns saying she, her. It's too much for them all. They really don't like all of that. Can't have any of that, guys. Because, you know, she, her... she'll only go and set up a bloody... What's she going to do? What's she realistically going to do if she becomes mayor of London? She's going to set up a fucking Sharia court that's okay with the gays? Is she like... Is that what she's going to do? She's going to go and turn the London Assembly into a mosque that also doubles as a gay bar from Vauxhall. That's what they're worried about. Such is their distaste for Muslims in positions of power. Sadiq Khan's given London away to his Islamist mates. That's their vibe, isn't it? Although, you know, that's Lee Anderson. He's Reform. And now Reform are putting... Like, Lee Anderson's going to have a fucking coronary, isn't he? When he's... If Sadiq Khan gets the boot, and his problem with Sadiq Khan is that Sadiq Khan is a Muslim, he's giving it away to his Muslim mates, and then Reform give it away to their Muslim mate. I mean, that's going to be a confusing day for a good friend of the show, Leanderthal, isn't it? So, yes, they're not happy with Layla because of their distaste for Muslims and her pronouns. My God, do they hate pronouns. Which is fun because this lady, Ben Habib, well, she has been retweeting her little heart out this week. She, Ben Habib, is all about this little story that Layla Cunningham, who is obviously front and centre of a party who claimed to want to stop the boats, well, Layla's mum seems to be running a hotel that may or may not have asylum seekers in it, right? That's what they are saying. Advance UK. And so Ben Habib, well, she's all about this little story as it's plastered its way across your socials this week because it nips at her old boss, Ben Habib's old boss, Nigel Farage, again. He's also former Reform. Like, Farage really has a bad habit of falling out with his ex-employees, doesn't he? He really, he's got previous on this. Like with Rupert Lowe, he tried to get Rupert Lowe sacked for bullying. That didn't really work out. Now Rupert Lowe's polling at 9%. And then this one fell out with Farage, and now Ben Habib, is making Reform's mayoral candidate look like a bit of a hypocrite, or not a true believer, or whatever. That's an interesting area of investigation, maybe, for somebody out there if they've got more time on their hands than I do. Like, how many of Farage's former partners in crime has he fallen out with? It's got to be quite a few now, no? When was the last time that we ever saw him out with Aaron Banks? And those two were like bosom buddies, weren't they? Or Douglas Carswell from the UKIP days. Dominic Cummings. Farage was quite pally with Dominic Cummings. They fell out over the Vote Leave campaign. Now Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib, who, by the way, I do think we should just quickly observe, is going for this Layla's mum's hotel story over the Islam attack angle, because Ben Habib himself... I'll switch to the right pronouns now, shall I? I think we've done that bit. Ben Habib himself, he comes from a Pakistani Muslim background. So he can't go too hard on that side of things, can he? It's a little bit like, go for the hotels factor. The asylum seeker hotels, the migrant hotels. Go for that. Make her look like a bit of a hypocrite. That's much more comfortable for me. But it's kind of funny because even with that, it's like, well, what are you saying here, Ben? Are you saying that there's a cultural or innate reason why Pakistani Muslim men should not be welcomed into British society? Is there some sort of problem with men from that background? Do you? You do. Okay. What do you suppose it is, Ben? What do you think it is about them that makes, Pakistani Muslim men more likely to do a certain thing than the natives? I mean, I don't believe that, but it sounds like you may have some sort of issue there, Ben. Your father, Ben, your father was a Pakistani Muslim man. What exactly did he expose you to when you and he emigrated here when you were only 14 as an economic migrant? But it's not totally without its risks. Just going for the mum's hotel angle as opposed to the other angles to attack Reform and Layla Cunningham. More specifically, because if you are going to judge the candidate by the supposed sins of the mother, you have to at least open yourself up to scrutiny about what your parents do, don't you? Layla's mum has a hotel, which you guys are suggesting is housing illegal migrants. But what does your mum do? What does your dad do? Let's talk about it. And Ben Habib has kept that 100% private. Nobody knows yet what his dad does. Nobody knows how an immigrant Pakistani Muslim economic migrant called Habib travelled to Britain in the 1970s, bringing his dependents with him. Oh, my goodness. And how he was able to go to private school and on to Cambridge. Where did that money come from, Ben? Where did that money go? Who is your dad really, Ben? What kind of hotels might he be running? Or she? But yes, he's never said what his dad did or what his mum has done. And so in that absence of information, I mean, all we can do is wildly speculate. So, because this is not the news agents, is it? This is the internet, dummy. You think we wait for facts and confirmations and specifics and reality from people who run to conspiracy theory for a living? Get some sleep. Jesus. Right, so we've done a bit of UKIP. We've done Advance. We've done Restore Britain. I think that'll do. That'll do for like an update of what's going on in the political right. How are we doing in the chat tonight? Are we good? Everybody in the chat all right? My posh cam, which is this one, is looking a little bit glitchy. So I'm trying to use it a little bit less. So I am. Should I turn it off and on? Sometimes that helps. Should I do that? Hold on. Bear with. Bear with, caller. Bear with. Hold on. Can put you back on the other one. Here we go. See if that's a little bit better. It still feels a little bit sluggish, doesn't it, on the tech tonight? But yeah, Tommy Lee Cadden is saying, "Oh, come on, Age. You don't look at the chat until the lock-in, do ya?" Not normally. Normally, I sort of, I respond to a couple of like little comments here and there. If you drop a super chat, I'll try and get to it. But most of the time, I just sort of rant and rave, don't I? But I wanted to feel a little bit transactional, a little bit, conversational, rather than just an insane fucking booze hound with a cap on shouting in his shed. Anyway, yes, speaking of the lock-in, are we all sticking around for the lock-in? What time is it now? 8 o'clock, so... yeah, I'll do one more story, and then I'll do a weird news story, and then it should take us down to about 8:30, I reckon. A little bit of Q&A. I should probably mention the meetup next Saturday the 31st. I'm meeting up with all of my Patreons and my channel members. So if that sounds like you, look out for the update on the Patreon and the YouTube channel. Like, if you're a member of it, you will see the update with the time and location where we are meeting. I'll post that later this week. So I shall. Right, let's get back into some newsy stuff, shall we? It has been a big week for pissed off sons of super wealthy families, hasn't it? Big week for sons with a chip on their shoulders. My shoulder's much better now, by the way. Thanks for asking. Prince Harry, guys, attacked the press in his High Court phone hacking vendetta tabloids case. He doesn't like the way that the tabloids treat the royals, treat people like him, or treat anybody like reasonably high profile, going through their rubbish, hacking their phones, etc., etc. You get the idea. So he had his court date this week. I can't remember. I forget which specific newspaper it is for this one. Is it the Mail? This one, or is it the Sun? I feel like he's settled with the Sun. So maybe this one's the Mail. Which the Royalist Daily Telegraph responded to by calling him the king of insufferable, bloviating hypocrisy. Which is like... I mean, you're not exactly, like, disproving his point, are you? You know? Vendetta journalism. They really go after me because I hold them to account. Then you call him the king of insufferable, bloviating hypocrisy. Okay. Cool. But elsewhere in the same realm of sons from very rich families who have a chip on their shoulder, nepotism's Brooklyn Beckham blew his family's brand up a bit this week in a lengthy Instagram post that all of his family probably TLDR'd. He said he was treated like a commodity and disrespected. And they said they treated his wife like shit. And so now he's cut them off. So he has. Which sounds sort of, shocking. I assumed that he would kind of cut them off. That they would have some sort of massive blowout. But I always sort of assumed that he would end up sacking them off for being shit careers guidance counsellors. Like, I thought that's what he would actually have an issue with them for. Like they tried to turn him into a photographer, didn't they? Then they tried to turn him into a chef and a model. Another time, none of it worked out. None of it. He didn't have a talent for any of it. It didn't happen for him. Like, if that was your careers guidance counsellor, you would probably lose your rag with them too. I think like I would. It's like the world's shittest Nepo baby recruitment consultant. That's your fucking parents right there. Like, I think you'd be great in photography. You give it a bash. You publish a book of your photos, and the whole industry just fucking laughs at you. Just like, what is this? What are you doing? You're not a photographer. Go back to college. Like, no wonder he's mad at them. I would be mad too. You know, it's like he's got all of these opportunities to explore his creativity, his sensitivities, his outlets, all of that. You know, and he wants to be respected, but ends up just looking like a wannabe, right? Like, because that's how it works, doesn't it? It's like one of her hits. A wannabe, but he wants to be. It doesn't really work, does it? Either that or you're a tough crowd. Jesus Christ. But no, it's not that careers guidance layer that he's taken issue with. It is apparently, allegedly, reportedly, all of the sort of wifey mother-in-law stuff. The brand Beckham PR layers. The commercial stuff to being a Beckham. The expectations of him. And then also, you know, the wife versus the mother-in-law kind of pieces to this. Top of the list of crimes that he has decided to punish them for. Like, why not just block them? Why would you not just... Why is this even public? Why is this like... You know, forget the post. Forget the 7-page post or whatever the fuck it was. Just... Hashtag block your mum. That's all you need. That's my new campaign. Just hashtag block your mum 2026. Guys, a lot of podcasts get behind valiant causes and they give shout outs to charities, don't they? Positive fundraisers and all of that. But no, on this show, we like to flip the script a little bit, promote negative causes. We like to break up a few families if we can. Hashtag block your own mum. Top of the list of crimes. Sorry. Off on a tangent. Top of the list of crimes was that his old dear, Victoria Beckham, who supposedly goosebreed his first dance at his wedding with his beautiful new bride. Imagine that shit. Just imagine that happens to you. You know, first dance with this beautiful... She's a model too, isn't she? Your beautiful model bride. And it's the first dance and everyone's looking at you and you've dreamt about this. Or certainly like your bride has dreamt about this moment since forever. And then your mum fucking full on like Kanye's the stage. Just like, what the fuck? What are you doing here, mum? Get off! So yes, reportedly, allegedly, there was Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham, his mum, on the stage, interrupting the first dance, and then like sitting him down and, if this is to be believed, sort of provocatively dancing in his lap. Or something, which is... It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a little bit weird. I mean, you know, if it was my wedding and my first dance with my bride, and then my mum started, you know, interrupting and coming out, like grinding on my lap or something, and you know, my wife and her family are over there, and they're just like gulping over, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I would be cross. I'd be a little bit cross about that. I'd be upset if my mum started groining my dick on my wedding. Like, I mean, call me a prude. I don't care. I have some red lines, some unshakable boundaries. So I do. So if it was my mum that did that, yeah, I'd be upset too, Brooklyn. But then my mum doesn't look like Victoria Beckham, so I mean, maybe, you know. So that's been fun. That was a fun story to see blow up earlier this week. I mean, just as a side note, this is exactly the reason why me and my missus never got married. Is like, you know, she wanted to, but I was like, you know, we just can't risk it with my mum, you know. You know, I just no. Sorry. Little Irish woman comes on stage. about to fucking get. Let me stop you right there, Mary. No. Bad enough at the engagement party. Totally inappropriate. Anyway, yes. Sorry. Again, off on a tangent. Yeah, so Victoria Beckham getting absolutely roasted on the socials this week in relation to this. Like, you thought Erica Kirk got it bad the other week, where it was like, you know, sort of Instagram videos of blonde singers dancing, you know, all over the stage and glitter exploding and people mocking how that's the opposite of calm, sober mourning. Well, these memes of Victoria Beckham, whoa, jeepers. You know, there's people digging out old clips of showgirls. Saying it's Victoria Beckham wishing her son a happy marriage. It's like fucking... They're so good. They're so good. You know, these provocative dances from the Showgirls movie from back in the day popping up on the Instagram feed, and it's like, no one, semicolon, and then Victoria Beckham wishing Brooklyn Beckham a happy marriage. Just like her fucking grinding on this guy in a chair. Like, if you've ever seen that scene, it's a bit dirty. Like, I swear to God, Elizabeth Barkley hasn't had this many people watch her since the finale of Saved by the Bell. Right? It's like, yes, it's a sad week for Victoria Beckham. Of course it is. Whose entire family is in pieces and people are mauling her all week on Instagram. Yes, it's a sad week for David and Victoria. But it's a good week for Elizabeth Barkley, is all I'm saying. It's just, you know, balance. I mean, I read this stuff. I read about this story earlier in the week, and I listened to the Marina Hyde podcast about it. And I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, this sounds a little bit weird. It does sound like this is quite a fucked up, overly commercialized, super dysfunctional family, is what it sounds like. But who knows what really went down? You know? Like, it kind of sounds like there was a bit of friction, from what I've read, between the bride and the mother-in-law, which would not be the first time that that's ever happened, right? Victoria Beckham is a designer these days, as I understand it, and the bride was going to get a dress designed by her, but she asked for some changes or something to the dress relatively last minute, and then there was some sort of fallout, and then, I don't know, like maybe that manifested as this sort of resentment or weird jealousy between the women or something. I don't know. But that sort of makes more sense. Like, I think what I'm saying is I don't think that Victoria Beckham actually wants to fuck her son. I don't think that's what's happening. Yeah, I think that's unlikely. Which means it's like, you know, does she really deserve all of it? Like, I know it's funny. It is funny. But does she deserve, like, worldwide internet mauling off the back of this? Like, it's Erica Kirk level. Roasting and mauling. Families in pieces, and she spent decades building up this brand, this business, to give her children a good life. And maybe he's got some good points about child exploitation and his anxieties or whatever. But also maybe it's a bit fucking bridge burn to go this hard on your own mum. Maybe. I mean, ask yourself this question. Is this the worst thing that a mother could do? Obviously not. You know, I mean, it's not like she's running an asylum hotel or something, is it? Okay, all right. So, weird news story time, guys. Weird news story time. Who's up for it? If it's your first time tuning in, each week we do, a little bit of piss-taking of the far right, usually a little bit of pop culture, occasionally. Sometimes I just spend like 30 minutes ranting about my own life. Sometimes that's entertaining. Sometimes it's just me crying for 30 minutes, which to some people is still actually quite entertaining for some reason. But we always like to round off with a weird news story, something from real Americana. Or, a guy that stole a truck and driven it into a strip bar. That was one. And another one like this couple, like there's been so many of them now. There was a couple who were like running a burial company, wasn't it? And they were like charging people to cremate people, but then they were just giving out like the wrong ashes, just like bullshit ashes or something. That was one of them. I remember. Like weird news stories, weird behaviour that should be studied. So, this one right here, this is from a publication called Syracuse or Syracuse or something. Syracuse.com. I never heard of it before, but I am drawn to it tonight for its headline. So I am. And look, I just want to preface this by saying that we live in a time where self-worth is at an all-time low. People are super unsure of themselves. Their parents neglect them or monetize them to the extent that they feel like monetarily measurable commodities, riddled with anxiety and a total absence of confidence. So given the low self-esteem epidemic that there now is, where so many people think the most they can offer the world is an OnlyFans live stream, or God forgive us all, another podcast, we must recognise those rare moments when somebody is still willing to exhibit confidence in themselves. With the exception of Kanye, obviously. So here we go. Check this fucking bellend out. Here is the headline. Rock guitarist refuses to release greatest album of all time unless fans pay $200 a song. I mean, how full of yourself do you have to be to say that your new album is worth $200 a song? $200 a song. And you say that it's the greatest album of all time. The greatest of all time, really. I mean, that is... Like, not even Kanye has done that, I don't think. I don't think, even at his peak, even at his craziest and most egotistical, has Kanye ever said that his album is the greatest of all time? I don't think I think he said Beyonce's video was like the greatest of all time when he bum rushed the stage, didn't he? But I don't think he's ever said his own album is the greatest. I mean, he probably has, but, you know, whatever. I think one of the guys from Wu-Tang sold an album for $1 million to that Martin Shkreli farmer bro, didn't they? Is it RZA? Or someone sold an album to him, Martin Shkreli, for $1 million. It was like an exclusive one-off copy. There's only one copy of it. The whole world. I mean, look, I'm just going to set your expectations. I don't think this is going to be in the same league as fucking Wu-Tang. I don't think it is. I don't think it's up there. Others do disagree. The rock guitarist himself says it's the greatest album of all time. So, you know, what the fuck do I know? Anyway, let me read a bit to you before we wrap up and get into the lock-in. So it says, rock guitarist refuses to release the greatest album of all time unless fans pay $200 a song. It says, the former guitarist for a legendary rock band is refusing to release what he calls the greatest album of all time unless fans pay... Yeah, okay, fine. Ex-Kiss member. Oh, okay, he's from Kiss. Wicked. That's my favourite band. Ex-Kiss member Vinnie Vincent announced last month that he would sell his new record, Judgment Day Guitarmageddon. One song at a time. Guitarmageddon. Guys, so you know it's good. It's already worth the $200 a song just for the fucking title of it. Where's Mick? Is Mick in the chat? Tell me that isn't an amazing title. Have you? Did they steal that title from you? Were you going to call your next release Guitarmageddon? I'm bummed. I was going to do a comeback. I was going to go back into music and do a new album. And now that I've seen that somebody's nailed the wordplay with Guitarmageddon, I feel like just throwing the towel in. You're never going to beat that, Thompson. It says, the controversial decision offered fans collector singles as individually signed and numbered CDs. Each costing $200 plus shipping. Don't even get shipping with it. Fucking hell. But only once reaching 1,000 pre-sales, it says. Okay. So he'll have $200 a track. Let's say it's 10 tracks. I don't know how many tracks it is. Per CD. So $200 times 10 tracks. That's $2,000, right? And he's not shipping anything until it's 1,000 copies sold. So 1,000 copies times $2,000 would be like $2 million? Have I worked out? Is that right? $2 million. Fucking wow. I mean, that is kind of smart, really, isn't it? It's fucking shrewd from this ex-Kiss guitarist. Mick Whitnell's in the chat. He's like, damn, they stole it. Guitarmageddon. Judgment Day Guitarmageddon. But yeah, I think it's clever. It's a bit gimmicky, isn't it? But it is clever because, you know, without this campaign, this headline, and the price tag, and us sort of, you know, talking about it among many, many other bored, fucking beery white guy podcasts that are probably talking about it. Without this, you know, who honestly would care about the ex-guitarist from Kiss's solo album, the greatest album ever, in 2026 on CD? Who would anybody give a King's Cross fuck about it? No, they wouldn't. You know? It's like finding out Lee Hurst has got a new panel show out on Dave or something. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore, Lee. I'm sorry. You know, it's like finding out there's a new Chevy Chase film on. Like, who cares? Who really cares? But if Chevy Chase said it was the best movie ever, you know, which he probably would if you asked him, and every ticket to this exclusive cinema was $1,000, I don't know, like maybe you'd be a bit more into it. Maybe it's a solid marketing strategy. Maybe next week's live show, $1,000 a ticket for the live stream. It's a luxury. It's an opulent podcast. So it is. It says, the first single, Ride the Serpent. It's not as good as Guitarmageddon. I think they used up all their wordplay skills on the album title. The first single, Ride the Serpent, is described as a nearly 8-minute intense guitar power drive. So you get 8 minutes for $200. That's pretty good. It's like double the rate then, right? Most songs, 3-4 minutes. 8 minutes. What incredible value. It's an 8-minute intense guitar power drive featuring Vincent on guitars and bass. So then he gets, twice the amount of royalties because he played 2 things on it. So he doesn't just want the $200 per track. He wants as much of the performance royalties also. Robert Fleischman, formerly of Journey, okay, on vocals, and Kiri Jordan on drums. All right. It says Vincent wrote and produced the song. Okay. I mean, typically, rock supergroups don't release the best album ever. I'm just going to get that out in the open. You know, if any of these people were going to release the best album ever, I think it probably would have happened when they were still in Journey or Kiss. I would have thought. And even then, unlikely. You have to go a long way for it to beat Victoria Beckham's self-titled debut, guys. There you go. Go check it out. It says, according to Ultimate Classic Rock, his website lists 18 song titles and more. It says, so buying the complete album would cost at least $3,600. So it's okay. So it's even more than I thought it would be. He defended the price, arguing that the rollout plan was his best way of fighting against illegal downloads and file sharing. Okay, here's a question for you. Who thinks this is going to get immediately pirated? This is going to happen. It's going to happen, Vincent. And if it doesn't happen because the prices are so ridiculous, it's because literally nobody cares about it. That's the only other reason that it wouldn't be getting pirated. You know? It could be a mad, awkward exchange in the, label office or like the producer's office or whatever in the weeks after this thing comes out. They're all giving themselves a pat on the back. One of the guys will be like, "Oh, I didn't see your music on Napster and Pirate Bay at all." And Vincent's going to be like, "Oh, I guess we beat the pirates then." And then the first guy's going to go, "Oh, yeah, I guess so, but I'm still struggling to understand why we only sold 11 copies." Like, what the fuck? But yes, anyway, I'm definitely here for this whole, marketing strategy. $200 a track. Greatest album ever. And especially for it's my only way to guard against illegal file sharing reason for why he's trying to make $2 or $3 million. Like, quick, sharp. It's like, what else? What other routes of solving piracy did you try before you settled on this approach? This fucking I'm sorry, but I can't afford not to price gouge my own fans who followed me through thick and thin, who pay my exorbitant ticket prices. I can't afford not to charge them $3,000. I've tried everything except for sitting back and doing this for fun while I let my millions of dollars in royalties pay for my entire retirement. I've tried everything except something that makes sense and respects my fan base. Like, the entitlement is real, isn't it? And now, just to make you a little bit more vommy, I was just at a super chat. Somebody's commenting. Captain Coconut says, considering the recent adoption of the Epstinian language, they have decided to release a motto for it. Black Lives Matter. What is that a reference to? I don't know what that's a reference to. Epstinian language. I'm so lost. I'm sorry. But yes, just to make you a little bit more vommy about this price gouging, this lack of respect for your own fan base. Fan base? Fan base. This is the second guy from Kiss to have done shit like this. Gene Simmons was he the lead singer? Or was he the bassist? I can't remember what he did. They're a little bit before my time. I think he was the lead singer. Definitely like a major figure, like up front and centre. He's very rich. Very, very rich. He's worth about $400 million. And he was in the papers last year because he charged someone $12,000 to be his personal assistant. So they have to pay him. Like, he just put it out. He was like, look, if you want the privilege of being my PA, of being my personal assistant, then you have to pay $12,000 to be for the privilege of serving me. Pay me the money that I don't even need. Like, he would make that in a fucking day, in an afternoon, through interest. And, yeah, so that's Gene Simmons, and then this other guy, Vincent, whatever his name is. Vincent Vincentson. It's like a double thing, isn't it? And so now both of them are whining. Both of them are like, oh, what's with all the complaints? Why is everybody bitching about this? I'm free to do what I like. It's a free market. Like, I hope somebody does pirate this album. I hope it gets pirated immediately. And I hope it gets, like, bled out to the music press. I hope it gets reviewed and absolutely beasted. I truly hope that. Inside my heart. You know? Like, how do people not fuck with people like this more? You know? Play pranks on them. Play tricks on them. Like, maybe it's my personality, but I always sort of, like, when somebody's like this, I just sort of want to mess with them a little bit. Like, if he was in the UK, I'd want to invite him somewhere as, like, a guest of honour, like a massive award for him. But I'd give him an address where he has to turn up for it in, like, you know, full get-up to accept his Lifetime Achievement Award or something. And then I would hide in the bushes, like, over the car park. And then just, like, film him when he rocks up to this abandoned trading estate or something. I would, like, film him, like, knocking on the door. So I could put it on YouTube later to humiliate him for being such a fucking tosser. You know, just bring him down a few pegs. You know, there's that. That is in here. That's what I want to happen. Get a situation where he's, like, shouting back, like, my album is worth $200 a song. It's like, yeah, great. Who gives a shit? 5,000 people paid $5 each to watch you get fucked over, knock on a tire in exhaust place, and get turned away. All the mechanics are like, why are you here? What? Like, who even are you? Why are you wearing makeup to an MOT shop? Okay, guys, right. That is it. It is 2034. My goodness, we've gone 5 minutes over. How incredibly unprofessional. More so than my slightly sluggish camera this evening. I apologise for that. But that is it for the podcast proper. Guys, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, do me a favour, leave me a little review. Drop me a 5-star jobby if you are enjoying the show and the other content that I put out. And yes, if you're listening on audio, sorry, that's it, your lot. Sorry, that is it. This is your lot. There you go. Also, sign up to the Patreon, drop me a like, share me about your friends like the cheap harlot that I am, and I will see all of you who are coming to the Patreon meetup next Saturday, the 31st of January. Until next time, peace. Right, let's do the lock-in. Here we go. I'm going to stop recording.